It's a lovely morning, so good morning, governors, gardeners, gardeners and governors. If you're both, a special welcome. Yeah, so today's fertilizer day. So before I do that, before the sun gets too bright, I'm just gonna take a look. Okay, so I've been having a problem with this plant right here, this catasetum. This time in previous years, it was blooming for us, but I sprayed it in last night, neem oil, so we're not going to see it. And it did spread to this a little bit, but not as much. This one looks nice and healthy, and this one was always a little later bloom. But anyway, what I was going to say, it's just been getting something on it. I don't know if they're aphids. I don't know what it is. If it's scale, it's giant scale, but it's fuzzy and white, and a whole bunch come at once, and they're way bigger than the scale I'm accustomed to. But with all of that said, look, yeah, I was surprised because that's the second node that's come out this year. So, but blooming, I don't know why it's not happening. And these are basically gone on my Parisia. Let's see, this one doesn't have anything, but it had two older ones that broke off, and I put them up here. One died off already. Let's see if this one's still hard. So I don't know. Maybe we propagated a plant. Probably not. Could be. All right, so this has 3 new. Oh, sorry. This one has 1. I went too fast by that one. There's my new plant. It's a vanilla plant. It likes shade more. That's why it is where it is. I'm pulling it to where it doesn't hits the direct sun, really. This is a somewhat new plant, too. And it is related to this one, which is a really old plant. It's funny, some of my old plants, like this one, and that one up there, they're from nurseries, whatever, that no longer even exist. Yeah, I got new growth on that Oncidium. And finally the mounted one seems to be doing a little better. And this one that I propagated some pieces onto here, I don't know if this top piece is gonna make it, but this one looks like it might. This is my Sherry baby that bloomed not too terribly long ago, and then it just died back one little piece. I'm not throwing it away. Some of these are, like this one is just cuts, because I think this one for sure, and this one, they are pieces of other ones. But this one, this one, this one, they weren't doing so hot. Lift those up a little bit. This one's a cut of something else. Those two, I don't think I like that kind of pot down there for this type of orchid, for all these Cattleya and its alliance. Yeah, this is an old one, and it has a new spike right here. Not a spike, sorry, a new pseudobulb. Same with this one right there. This one looks kind of sad, but it does have a new pseudobulb. So I don't know, it might be responding to the recent care it's gotten. I went through this is all due to scale. It just really wreaked havoc. Maxillary tenuifolia, the red one, and then a big chunk of this fell out. Oh look, it's got a new pseudobulb coming up. It just fell out, and I have it in my kitchen in some water, seeing if I can get those roots to take hold. This one's pretty full. You'd think it would have fallen out of this one, because this one's crowded. They like crowded though. I have no idea what that plant is. I just know that if it gets sun, it's striped. If it doesn't get enough sun, then it's solid. It's not variegated. So obviously over there where it wasn't getting as much sun. I moved it to a place with a little bit more sun. It's another maxillaria. I'm thinking it might be the yellow one. I don't know. It's never bloomed. Catasetum. No, not catasetum. Grammatophyllum, like this one. It's a big, huge one. That's a baby one. That wasn't a baby one. It just died back. Cattleya with a new growth. When I say Cattleya, it's really a hybrid of, could be Cattleya, Laelia, Brasilova, all that. But Cattleya Alliance. And these two were, I think, more repotted. I did a bunch of repotting, so a lot of stuff is like, whoa. Okay, so Vandas. So mini Vanda, the Vanda that's never wanted to live. I bought it looking like this, or I got it looking like this. This is actually, I call it a Vanda. It's a Vandaceous, but it is a, yeah. But anyway, I did look over these roots on all of these the other day. They look pretty good. And then I divided this one. I had this one in a little plastic, thing like that one. And it had a little kiki. And they didn't look so hot, so I took it out and divided it, put it on this one. We'll see. I was going to take this out of here because this is not the perfect container for Vandas, but it's taking it over. It will not come out. It is all grown in there into it and through it. See how it's coming out though. So I said, you know what? Doesn't look so bad. Oh, I know what. I got to back up. This one, again, is a Vandaceous orchid, but it's not, I don't think it's called a Vanda. I think it's called a Era something. Yeah, which is in itself, I think, a Vanda relative, but look, it's got a bloom spike. I almost cut it off, the bloom spike, and said, save yourself, But I said, nah, I'm not going to interfere with nature. This is one that had gotten, I cut this off a little bit because it gotten really leggy. It's still leggy, but it's got nice new growth. It's got, from when I had these out in the sun too much, they're all very yellowed. Well, they're not. They're still chartreuse, so I guess they're good. I don't know if this is going to make it. I've been trying to keep this little miniature going forever. I would put it on the log with my bulbophyllums, but I don't think it'll stick. I haven't been able to get it to grow onto anything. I was hoping to grow onto this. It's just, they'd rather have the roots just dangle. And what is this thing? This is a, again, I call them all Vandaceous orchids because they just grow like this. They're all epiphytes. All, they grow out of the soil. All right, so I've been slowly kind of removing a little bit of the sphagnum from here. But this is a piece of one that's over there, and it got too big. It fell apart. And this I've had a long time. It took forever to root to this thing, but it has. Look underneath. This one was starting to fail over there. I don't know. The pot is coming apart, and I had to put something around it. So I put some sphagnum to hold it in. I think that was it. It tries to root, but then the weight of it pulls away. And this is part of my big, what do you call him? Aristocrat. That got turned into 2 plants. Here's the rest of it. And I want to hang this because I think that would be good airflow. And I thought about hanging it right there where that wind chime is, right outside here, because it's very close to where it's always grown. But it's just a little too sunny there, I think. And then right in here, it's good, but I think it would get better airflow hanging. But it's too heavy to hang on these chains. It would take this chains down. And that's what broke that one, was the chain coming down. All right, so this is a, the tampensis, what is it? It is a Encyclia tampensis, this is a native to our area, actually. Tampensis means Tampa. But anyway, so I found a little bit of scale on it, which surprised me. I was wondering why it wasn't looking so good. And when I was messing with it, cleaning it up, it kind of broke into 2 pieces. So here's the other piece. I could have put them both on the same mount, but I didn't. And then this Encyclia is also got scale for the first time. I used to only hit my Cattleya plants, but all right. And so the bulbophyllums seem to be doing pretty good. This one has some weird leaf damage and a couple of leaf die-offs. I don't know what that's about, but oh, and this one Encyclia here is still going. It's pretty faded, but I can sure smell it, especially at night. And look what it's got. Yep, like the Vanda's new leaves. And so far, this one seems to still be alive after going to the orchid hospital. And let's see if this will root. This is a piece that fell off of something or broke off. This one I turned around so you're seeing the back side. What's been the back side? Because the front side is so pretty. And I was just getting off. It does this. It's just some of these pseudobulbs just get dry, and this one's still attached. It has that one kiki on, I just noticed. But last night when I was doing that, I found this one piece here. I have it propped up. So it has all these kikis on it. See the roots? It's trying to make new plants. So let me take that one and that one. It may start a new plant. I don't know. This is some kind of encyclia. And this one has two new leaf things coming out. I think they're leaves. This one has, it's kind of a little dark though. But it still looks healthy. I don't know. Same with this one. This one too. This E and Y and encyclia are related, so I decided to move this one over here, away from the cattleyas. These are bulbal phylums. These are little pieces of those. I don't know which ones. Oh, and this is a dendrobium actually. Anceps, dendrobium anceps. But I had just turned this around to try to clean it up a little because, like I said, it gets these brown things, and it's always been a one-sided plant. One side will look beautiful and green and lush, and the other side, not so much. And we have some new growth and new roots in the phals. Not as much as the phals down there. They're not getting as much sun, but they're cut off babies from these, so I'm just leaving them alone. And then I decided to put some moss, native moss, on this little leafless orchid there. That's the hospital zone, trying to, hopefully something comes up. I don't know. I think we pretty much lost this one. But you never know. Orchids are kind of weird. You can leave a leaf or a pseudobulb or something, even with no roots, or you can just leave roots and they will find a way to survive. The pots. I think this potato vine's beginning to grow. That coleus is definitely beginning to grow. And finally, that butternut squash is beginning to grow. I'm kind of growing it for foliage. That's a little piece of cactus. All those plants that were here, I found homes for them. Yay! So they're going to make somebody happy. This was my mom's. Okay, so this coleus has a lot of competition, so I don't know how big it'll get. These have not been wanting to survive in my yard, which is too bad. I love the color. They're yellow, but they're very faded yellow. This is all from an old planting. So is the red there, that's old. Okay, here's some of that coleus and that yellow petunia. See, half of it died. Coleus is working. Here's my baby garden now. Over here. Yeah, I need to thin this out, but today I'm not going to be able to do that because I am meeting a cousin who lives in Memphis, who's in St. Pete Beach. So we're going to go to St. Pete Beach and meet her and have dinner with her and her husband. All right, cactus. Look how big these butternut squash are. I hope it just grows onto the ground all over. That's what I'm looking forward to. These all have pretty much died. There's a tiny bit of green there. These were those yellow petunias. They just didn't hold up in the heat and sun. They got watered plenty. That coleus is finally taken off. The soil in this is probably not as good as those pots over there because that has some cactus soil in it, but I did put some regular plant soil in there. I should move these over there, really. These are unstable though. Would you believe that this big cactus here is in the ground from a piece falling off? There's a bunch trying to grow back here. There's a whole bunch of them. And then this kind of was falling over, so I staked it up, and it's yeah, it's got leaves. This was new last year. I bought this one because I wanted something different color, and these two I bought last year, and they've never got to the ground yet. I need to get them in there before the rainy season starts. It has been so dry that I don't feel bad. I think this one we bought last year too. Pretty sure. The others, like that one there, those are just pieces off of mine and to varying degrees of success. And I got rid of 3 of those starts actually. The best ones I gave away. There's another squash plant. That's a little squash blossom. The basil, whoops, don't you dare try to flower on me. We don't want you changing the taste of the basil. That one basil plant is enough. All right, so pepper plant from last year, the old ones. We have one forming right there. I had another one. It was, I think, right here. It's like someone ate it, even small, or it just fell off. Oops. And these are the 2 pepper plants I planted this year. That's another squash. It's been slow to grow in the ground. I moved all my dendrobiums out here. I think they were just getting too much sun up there. And my cucumber plants. Foliage-wise, they've done nicely, and they've grown up the trellises and everything. But they really, I don't think I have any cucumbers. I went and read how to pollinate them myself. It's a little hard to get into the female. I tried it a little bit with a Q-tip. We'll see, I don't know. I thought I saw one starting here when I did that pollination. I think that was the day before yesterday. But I don't see it on there now. But basically, they have male and female flowers. The male flowers are these open ones, and the females are long and look almost like they have the start of a cucumber under them. Anyway, I had one kind of starting. It had lots of bumps and stuff on it, but I don't see it. It was right in here. Pretty sure. Oh, that's it right there, I think. Yeah, I think. No, that's the flower. But it would be behind the flower. But anyway, these aren't getting pollinated, so it's a pretty plant though. Tomatoes. I ended up putting something over those tomatoes so I could have them. Uh-oh. Did that just kill one? They still got in there and did something to it. The bug could still get through that. Before, I think the squirrels or rats. No, it must have been rats because it was at night. More of the dendrobiums. This one I noticed was getting a little too much sun yesterday, so I'm going to move it over a little bit more even. Yeah, it's getting just a little too much sun. Yeah, the only thing that's really producing all the time is this. Now, somebody's been taking them away. I guess if the animals are eating them, I can't feel too badly. But I don't know if I hurt that tomato by putting in that, but it feels more like somebody tried eating on it. So, yeah. I need to find another place for this. This little one cannot take the sun. Yeah, it was doing pretty good, and then I moved it over there in the sun, and it's just, with these, it was just too much. How about there? Those are just little pieces that fell off. These guys, oh my gosh. Look at them every year. And then the winter will cut them back. All right, so it's got this one spike. And it was blooming. I might still have some blooms to show you. They're hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these things. This one I don't think has as much. This plant, I think, is the baby of that plant. 1, 2, 3. There's another one back there, just starting. Oh, no, it's not just starting. It's way down there. 4. Oops. All right. I think you might be able to see the flower. Oh, okay, there's one of the flowers right there. They're falling off as I touch it because they came out a bit ago, a few days ago. I was looking back at pictures from 2009, and Mama Plant was in a pot right there. This peace lily doesn't look as happy as it did when there were ferns here covering it and shading it a little. Like this one's got all the shade. I should have broke that plant up into 2. It's pretty thick. most of the bromeliads has recovered from their trauma they went through. They're pretty hardy though, because I think that's mostly a native one. I think there's one left of a purchased bromeliad. It's my new bird feeder. So that's the garden for Wednesday, May 6th. June 6th, I think. Yeah, still haven't tackled that. And all this bees stuff that they like, I think they quit coming. It started to die off because it's so dry. So it's dry off really. And this always takes a beating until the rainy season comes. There's no sprinklers back here, but that's okay because these don't like a lot of water. But anyway, so that's where we are. Oh no, I do have something else to show you. That's right. Walking around with this little tomato in my hand. I'll put it right here in the sun. Let it get just a little riper because it didn't just easily fall off. I did give it a little bit of a tug. This is the one that there's so many starts of. And it's the same one that's right over there. That one, okay, it started out here. And then put a start of it over there. And then this one got chopped down. And then I replanted it. And Jerry hired someone to clean up back here. They literally chopped everything down in the yard. But it's just a little bit of color, not much. These are all started from when they trimmed the one at the Coast Guard base, and we picked up the trimmings. All right, so in those nursery pots, I had some fern that I'd picked out of my, when I cleaned out the bed. Whoops, there goes that one. I cleaned out the bed, and I put them here. They may be getting too much sun, but at least it's only the very early morning. And I had them in nursery pots, and I just planted them into these. Kind of tore them up, but they look okay right now. Let me see. Yeah, I think I better water these. Okay, I'm going to call it here so I can water these. Oh, okay, all done is dripping. All right, so when these get a little more sizable and I feel they're sturdy on their own, I'm going to move them to the tree out front where the staghorn is and just keep all those ferns together. Well, I have no idea how I missed this, but this is that little orchid I won at one of the raffles at the Orchid meeting. And look, it has 2 bloom spikes. I've been worried that I've been overwatering it, but I don't think so. It looks to be happy. It's got 2 bloom spikes. It's up here on the table because I was going to repot it. It's not going to stand up very easily into this pot because this orchid has a new growth. I think this medium is worn down. It definitely is worn down, and I just think it's the wrong pot. It just has a single hole down there. It's what I had at the time or something, and it was such a miniature orchid. It still isn't going to be a big one. But anyway, so I was going to put this one in there, but now I don't know. Oh, you know what? It doesn't go in medium. There's no medium in there. That thing is just in that little pot. Yeah, so I think I still will do it. That and fertilizing is don't worry, that's not human, that's plant. Fertilizing and getting that done. Probably the only thing I do today. I don't know if you noticed I hesitated when I was talking about encyclias a while ago because some are labeled encyclias and some are labeled epidendrians, if I can say it right. Let's see, these are encyclia too. I thought I had one that was labeled the other. I do have one that's labeled. Yeah, here's one. All right, so they used to all be under, they all used to be under epi. But they made a couple of changes, and one is the pseudobulb being like this. Or if I say something like that, or that. But also, see that's the epi, this is the N, okay, sickly epi. Also, the flowers, I only have this one to show you the difference in how this, what this connects to. And I don't have another flower to show you. Oh yeah, I have this one, but this one's different because this is an upside down orchid. It's all different. This, I have to contend with this. I don't know why they're climbing up my screens, but they do. That was a boy one. Let's see. This is a girl one. I think they're just mad that they can't easily get food from those feeders. I don't know if I ever showed you my little cart that I think my cousin Erica gave this to me quite a few years ago for Christmas. And they just started using it a couple of years ago. I used to keep all that stuff here, but it just looks so junky and I needed room for orchids. So anyway, pulling it back because I just push it up here and it's way out of the way. And pulling out the hose because I'm going to get ready to fertilize. But this is a hose that I bought on TikTok Shop. And I had one of these in the past, but this one's even better. And then when we replaced it, my husband got one that had a stiffer inside, and yeah. Anyway, this is all it is, and it just easily fits in that big planter until you turn it on. Then it's like 50 feet long, and it comes with the nozzle thing with all the settings. But normally I have to buy that separate, but it is short because I usually buy the big one with the. The downside of this thing is it does look like a snake. I will admit that, and there have been times when I jumped a little. All right, so I'm just going to put water in here and fill it up to the crack. That's as far as I can fill it because then it empties itself. And put some fertilizer in it for my orchids. I forgot to say it stretches to 50 feet. I can get all the pots outside with it. Okay, fertilizer's in, just adding the water. It'll get to the right color. Yeah, we have a moratorium on fertilizing from June 1st to September 30th, I think. Can't fertilize your lawn or shrubbery or ornamental landscape plants, I think is what they call it. As a result, though, they pull all the fertilizers off the shelf or cordon them off or whatever. And even Amazon knows by your zip code that they can't sell you fertilizer. So you have to get your orchid fertilizer before, because it's really technically not impacted, but the stores don't mess with that. They just, because you can use one fertilizer for something else. It, you know, the fact that it says orchid fertilizer just means the three things are a different number. So like I'm using 20-20-20, but some growers might use something else. In my time release, I have the kind that's specifically for orchid blooms. Okay, I've gathered up the most water it's going to take without coming out because there's a crack over there, you see. And then I've got my half-gallon sprayer bottle. The sprayer just doesn't work anymore, but I can still at least fill up. I'm just going to go pour it into all my orchids. Give them a good dose and then probably hose them down a little bit too. Okay, I got this out of the pot. I got the pot washed up, even though it has some stains, it's washed. And they look pretty good. There's a few little things I'm going to take off, but I discovered some scale underneath. You know, I thought that maybe the medium was breaking down and that's why it was looking bad. And when I took it out, the medium wasn't bad. And this whole little piece just came out separate. And I think this is scale did this. But yeah, there's a little bit of scale I'm going to have to take care of. So that was the problem. But I'm going to put it into a regular ceramic pot. And I think I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to take these off. This one is so rusted. Where my newer ones, like I have one on one of my older ones, I should say a newer, different brand, never rusted, and it's old. So yeah, I don't want this rusty old thing. Okay, I got that rusty thing off. It wasn't easy. And then I took this off of this black plastic one that this was just sitting inside of. when I got it, it was in this, and then I put it in this to hang it. And I think I'm going to use that inside this so that it has more, I don't know, so it's not, so it's more open for its roots. There's really root bound in that little thing. I only pulled off a couple that just came up easily. I'm not messing with it too much because it has 2 bloom spikes, so yeah. Again, this is and the other one is there, and then I don't know when I'm gonna do that little piece. I might put it in my hospital area. But I was thinking when I first got this pot, it had a beaded cord, and it, of course, you know, fell apart in Florida. It's not gonna last like that. What is that purple? I have no idea what that is. But anyway, and I thought, you know what? I got this metal thing, and I have all these beads from old craft projects. Although I'm not fond of plastic beads, I think that's all that's going to work out good. I do have some wooden ones. I don't know if they'll last though. They might. They seem to be coated like something. But I have some that are kind of that color. And clear, of course. It's too blue. These are glittery. I don't think they go well with that earth in there. Oh, there's a bunch more white ones. Oh, this might have some colors that are a little better. I don't know. It'd take forever to pull them up. There it is. There's the color I saw. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so maybe I'll be working on a bead project. Last 2 in the thing. They're getting it together because they both may have Thai crud. I don't know. They have spots. Also came around when they were in a lot of sun, but that could be stress. I don't know. Anyway, but they're getting it together just in case. Okay, I think I got enough of those seafoam colors out of all of this. I think I got them all. There were some that would, the green and the blue sometimes in the mix would kind of look the right color, but I think I got enough. So I decided not to do the wooden beads because I just don't want them to fall apart. So I said, what bead's close to that color this is? But I kind of like that better. And it does have this stripe that kind of has both colors. So I don't know, maybe 4 colors. I prefer 5, but I could put clear on there too. I don't know, I just like to do decorative things in odd numbers. Okay, now that I have them on there, I have to figure out how I'm going to hook them to there with these things sliding around. That's going to be torture. Okay, there she is, all finished. And I put a basket inside of a pot, just so these roots aren't touching anything right now. And 2 bloom spikes. Yeah, I had room to put more beads on, but I thought, well, how am I going to work with these beads when I go to tie this on? And after the fact, it hit me, you do one thing at a time. Of course, then I wouldn't have known if I had enough beads, unless I counted it, but that sounds tedious, so yeah. So I've got a little bit of this going on here, but nothing too critical. Put that back there too. Anyway, let's go hang her. Okay, the sun's on the wrong side. But I was worried about using these plastic beads because they have a little bit of shine to them with the earthenware pot. But you know what? The sun comes through those beads. See? Even though the pot is dark, see how the beads are shiny? So I like that. And I'm actually glad it didn't go up any higher because it might look like it's all about the beads and not the plant. So I'm happy. Okay, all the little pieces of that plant that had formed kikis are now potted up in a pot that matches the mother plant.